Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, my team and I will be presenting our web archiving that we name it as Reweb. My team consists of 4 members, which is me, AMIERAH UMAIRAH as the project leader, RIQNA NATASHA as the quality assurance and testing specialist, IWANA as web archiving specialist, and AISYAH SOFEA as metadata as metadata and repository specialist. And our content or our presentation consists of 5 content, which is introduction, significance of selection, web archive preservation design, implementation, and the conclusion. First of all, we will go to the introduction first.
The rapid growth of digital information has highlighted the importance of web archiving in preserving valuable online resources for future access. To address this issue, this project proposes Reweb as a web archive repository that preserves digital resources related to domestic violence, including awareness campaign, legal information, victim support services, and research findings. Reweb collects and archives content from government agencies, NGOs, and academic institutions, organize it using metadata, and provide users with web-based platform to browse, search, and access preserved resources. By implementing Reweb as a website repository, the project ensures important digital information remains accessible even if the original websites are modified or removed. For this project, we have 2 main objectives. First objective is to preserve web-based information related to domestic violence through the implementation of Reweb. Our second objective is to develop Reweb as a website repository that supports the efficient storage, organization, retrieval, and management of archived digital resources using a structured web interface and metadata. Next, I would like to present the background of our project. Domestic violence remains a significant social issue, and many government agencies, NGOs, and academic institutions publish valuable information online. However, these web-based resources are vulnerable to modification, deletion, and permanent loss over time. To address this issue, we propose Reweb, a centralized web archive repository that preserves resources such as awareness campaign, legal information, victim support services, research publications, and multimedia materials. Reweb operates through 4 main processes: identification, capture, storage, and access, ensuring digital information remains accessible for research, education, and public awareness in the future.
So I'll be presenting the comparison of our web archive, which is Reweb, with the Wayback Machine. Okay, first, in terms of primary focus, Reweb is specifically designed to archive information related to domestic violence, victim protection, legal right, and support service. In contrast, the Wayback Machine focus on preserving websites from all over the world across various topics. For accessibility, both platforms are publicly accessible through the internet. However, Reweb provides direct access to the selected and relevant resources, while the Wayback Machine offers access to a much broader collection of the archive website. In terms of scalability, the Wayback Machine has much larger archive because it preserves websites globally. Reweb is only limited because it only contains selected websites related to our project scope. Regarding to interactivity and searchability, Reweb allows users to easily search information through the URL, database searching, making relevant content easier to find. The Wayback Machine also provides a search and browsing tool, but its main focus is accessing archived version of the website. For data integrity and preservation, the Wayback Machine have a strong preservation infrastructure and store multiple historical versions of website. Over the time, Reweb depend on maintenance of the portal and focus on preserving imported resources related to domestic violence, awareness, and victim protection. In conclusion, Reweb provides a focused and user-friendly platform for accessing domestic violence-related information, while the Wayback Machine offers large-scale, long-term preservation of websites from all over the world. Thank you. Okay, next I'll be talking about our advantage of web repository project, which is first, web repository help preserve important information and prevent valuable web content from being lost due to website update, deletion, or technical failure. Second is provide a long-term access to resources related to domestic violence awareness, victim protection, legal right, and support service, ensuring that this information remain available in the future. Third, as a centralized sources by gathering information from trusted organization, government agency, NGOs, university, and news website in one place, making it easier for user to find information. Next is web repositories support research and education by providing reliable data and historical record that can be used by researcher, student, educator, and policymaker. They also document social and policy changes over time, which is allowing user to understand how public awareness, government responses, and attitude toward domestic violence has evolved. Furthermore, archive web content can serve as evidence and verification of public information, policy, and statistics, help to improve transparency and trust. Overall, web repository play an important role in preserving knowledge, supporting research, and promoting public awareness for future generations. Next is the highlight to importance of web preservation. First, web preservation help preserve web content for future access, even when the websites are adapted, modified, or removed from the internet. Second, it protects historical record and important online information, which is many events and development are documented online. So preserving on website help to ensure that these records are not lost. Third, web preservation support research and education by allowing researcher and students to access and compare past version of website, helping them to understand changes in information, technology, and society over time. In addition, preserve culture and society, which is it saving digital materials such as blog, awareness campaign, online discussion, videos, and legal information that reflect people experience and viewpoint. Web preservation also enhance accountability and transparency by providing record of the information published by organization, company, and government, which can be used for verification when needed. So overall, web preservation is essential because it prevents information loss, ensure that valuable digital content remain accessible for future generations. Thank you.
In the next session, we'll be talking about the web archive preservation design. We will start with the web portal development methodology. So basically, the web is a web archive repository designed to store, organize, and preserve digital information. It features an intuitive, user-friendly interface and follows a systematic development process to ensure effective access to archive web content. Okay, next presentation will be talking about the step-by-step procedure for Reweb. It includes 7 step procedure for Reweb to be developed. And the first one is planning and analysis. On this step, you will define the website objective, scope, and the target audience, and also identify required features, content, and functionality. Second step was research and content collection to gather reliable information and resources to be published on the web. The third step is website design, which is wireframe. So on this step, we will create the website layout and navigation using Canva to plan and structure to ensure consistency and user-friendly navigation. The next step was website development. On this step, our website will be developed based on the approved wireframe. It applies theme, color, and font, and also the page layout consistently. The next is the content integration. For the content, we will add the archive resources, HTTP track data, and research finding. It also helps in organize content into clear category with supporting visual. The next step is testing and evaluation. The website will be tested affected by the navigation, functionality, and content accessibility. We will also gather a feedback and fix if there are any identified issues. The last step was website publication. It is to perform the final review, so the website will be published and make it accessible to user. Okay, the next slide will be talking about the web navigation structure. There are 6 navigation structure to guide user and visualize the flow of how the website works. The first of all, we have a navigation structure, which is home. Then we have about, features, collection, resource, and the last one is contact us. Okay, next the implementation. On this implementation, I will describe the wireframe and the prototype that we have done to develop the web. As you can see, this is the first interface that user will see, which is the home page, that basically give a brief knowledge or give the overview of this website. On this home page, there will also be a few of boxes that will lead user to our other navigation, such as about us navigation, collection, and the resources. So when user click to the button, they will go to the page that they want. Okay, next we also include the testimonial on the home page. It is to get a feedback from user that have used our website. So if there are negative feedback, so we can fix the issues. Okay, next is about us page. On this page, we include our core value and vision and mission. The next page will be the features home page. Will be the features page. We list our expertise when we develop Reweb, such as organized digital content, easy search and discovery, long-term digital preservation. There are also a button that will navigate user when they click it, such as the collection or resources button. Okay, the next page will be the collection. On this collection, there are many collections here, as you can see. So when user click to the title that they want, so it will bring them to this page, which this page will explain the data that they want to browse, such as the hashtag data and the archive page data. It also give the publication date, scope, and type of information that they want. Next page will be the resources page. On this resources page, it will give the brief information about HTTP track, research and resources, and also the internal reference that we have used to develop the web. Okay, the last page will be the contact us page. On this contact us page, user can easily reach us via email, via WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook. We also put our working hours on this page.
Okay, so now I'm going to present the flowchart of Reweb repository. So firstly, we will identify the website by selecting the relevant web resources, and we will capture the content either using httrack and archive-web.page, and both of these tools are going to record the metadata, and the metadata will be extracted to 3 types of metadata, which is descriptive metadata, technical metadata, or preservation metadata. And the metadata will be stored in database, which is the Reweb repository tables. And lastly, it will be displayed to users, so user can search and filter the metadata in the collection page. Okay, so this is the ERD for the Reweb repository, which consists of 5 tables. The first one is website table, and then descriptive metadata, technical metadata, preservation metadata, and archive tool. So website and descriptive metadata has one-to-one relationship.
Same goes to website and technical metadata, one-to-one relationship. But website and preservation metadata has one-to-many relationship, while archive tool and preservation metadata has one-to-many relationship. So this is the data dictionary for each of the tables, and this is the data dictionary for website. We have 5 attributes. The first one is website ID with integer data type, and we have website name with varchar, URL, website type, and website scope also use varchar. And website ID will be the primary key, and since it is a unique identifier, so hence why it is a primary key, and the rest are not null. So website name is basically for the name of the name of the archive website. URL is for the web address of the archive page. Website type will be the type of website such as news, NGO, or government. And website scope is the country origin of the origin. So the next one is the data dictionary for descriptive metadata, which consists of 6 attributes. So the primary key will be descriptive ID, and the foreign key will be website ID, and both of these are integer data type. And the other one is title, author, keywords, and date published. So title, author, and keywords use varchar as the data type, while date published is date as the data type. And the constraints are not null. So title is for the page title of the archive content. The author, keywords, date published is the date where the content was published. And then we have data dictionary for technical metadata, which consists of 8 attributes. The primary key is technical ID, and the foreign key is website ID, and both are using integer as the data type. And CMS is the content management system used, and the data type would be varchar, and constraint is not null. Same goes to OS server, which stands for operating system server. The varchar is the data type is varchar, and then we have SSL certificate, which is the SSL security protocol, and we have processing time, which how long the page load or the processing time. And then we have content type. Either the dominant content type is JavaScript or images, for example. And lastly, we have the content size, which actually means the total size of the web content. Okay, so now is the data dictionary for archive tool, which consists of 2 attributes only. So the primary key would be tool ID, and the data type is integer. And lastly is the tool name. The data type is varchar, and the constraint is not null. So tool name is basically the name of the tool, such as httrack or archiveweb.page. Okay, the last one is the data dictionary for preservation metadata, which consists of 8 attributes. So the primary key is the preservation ID in the integer data type, and the foreign key is website ID and also tool ID. So website and tool ID is connected, so hence why they are a foreign key. And then we have archive status, which basically shows if the archive status is successful or not. And then we have start date time, which when the archiving start date, which where the archiving starts, and we have end date time and where the archiving end. Okay, and so we also have the size archived, which basically means the size of the archived files, and number of files archived.
Okay, next I will explain the role of metadata in web archiving. Okay, metadata is important because it helps identify, manage, preserve, and retrieve archive web resources. In our project, we use 3 main categories of metadata, which is descriptive metadata, technical metadata, and preservation metadata. First is descriptive metadata is used to identify and describe the archive website. It helps users to discover and understand the content, the information included, like name website, website type, website scope, title, author, and keyword. For example, one of our archive sources is from Who 30 News with the article titled Family Man Woman Found Dead Advocate Domestic Violence Awareness. Second is technical metadata, which is record the technical characteristic of the website. This information help to ensure that the website is captured accurately, remain accessible in the future. Example is included the URL, content management system, operating system and server, SSL certificate, processing time, content type, and content size. Third is preservation metadata, which is support the long-term management and preservation of archive content. It assures that digital information remain accessible and authentic over time. In our project, preservation metadata included information such as number of files, number of archive. For example, like 7 files were successfully archived. In conclusion, metadata play a crucial role in web archiving because it's improved resources discovery, support preservation effort, and ensure that archive web content remain accessible and useful for future users.
Next, let's move on to the affected parties in Malaysia that will benefit from the Reweb repository. Government agencies can use Reweb as a centralized source of archive information to support evidence-based policymaking and service coordination. NGOs can strengthen their awareness campaign, education program, and victim support initiatives by accessing reliable archive resources. Academic institutions, researchers, and students can utilize the repository for teaching, research, and policy analysis. In addition, libraries and information professionals can apply Reweb as a model for digital preservation and metadata management. And finally, the general public, including victims and their families, can access trusted information on domestic violence awareness, legal rights, and available support services. Overall, Reweb benefits multiple stakeholders by supporting knowledge preservation, research, and public awareness.
So to conclude, Reweb is designed to preserve domestic violence web content for long-term access, and HDTrack and archiveweb.page can improve the reliability of the archive, while structured metadata makes information easier to organize and discover. Although there are challenges in archiving dynamic websites and the manual process is time-consuming, future improvements such as automated crawling and better metadata can make Reweb more efficient. So that is all from us. Thank you so much for having your time to watch this video.